Welcome back to our second, or my second, New York Comic Con exclusive review. This time is for the premiere episode of the second season of Castle Rock. Now, for people that don't know, Castle Rock is based off of Stephen King's works, not necessarily any particular work. It combines a lot of his works into one town of Castle Rock, which in his books is a real creepy place, and the show does an awesome job of portraying this creepy place. So this is kind of like American Horror Story. We replaced the entire cast from the first season with a new cast, with a new story, still based out of Castle Rock. This time, for this story, we have Miss Lizzy Caplan playing Miss Annie Wilkes. For people that don't know, Annie Wilkes is the character played by the incomparable Kathy Bates in Misery. So she's the lead character in the second season of this show, and it's not the character that you have known from Misery. Or maybe if you read the book and you know that character, this is kind of a prequel to everything that happens in Misery with this character. We also have Mr. Tim Robbins in this playing Pop. He plays the father in this one. We have Mr. Paul Sparks playing John Ace. And for people who want to know who John Ace is, please watch Stand By Me. It's the character played by Kiefer Sutherland in Stand By Me. Again, another situation where we're taking an old Stephen King character and planting him in this world. Then we have Miss Eliza Fisher. She's playing Annie's daughter in this one, Joy Wilkes. We have Mr. a bunch of people's name who I'm going to have issues pronouncing, but who cares? We still respect them and what they do. So, Yasser Yawasser, what? Okay, I'm just gonna fuck this name. I'm just gonna mess this name up. Okay, I'm gonna use my tools of sounding things out to try to get this name right. I'm just not gonna guarantee anything here, people. So, Miss Wyrsa Warsamaha. Yep, I said that. I don't even know if I said it right. But she plays Dr. Omar. She's a Somalian doctor who is a group. Her and her brother were adopted by the Tim Robbins character named Pops in this one. Then we have her brother, Barkhead Abedili. I'm pretty sure, again, I didn't say that name right. He plays on the show Abedili Omar, which is the doctor's brother. He is also from Captain Phillips, if you remember Captain Phillips and I'm the Captain Now. That guy right there, that's the guy whose name I am attempting my damnness to pronounce. And then we have Mr. Matthew Allen. He plays Chris Merrill. He's Ace's brother, who in turn is Pop's son, who in turn is a surrogate brother to the other two characters that I announced on this one here. So, and I got you the cast. Let's get into the first episode. The first episode of the second season of Castle Rock. The name of the episode is Let the River Run. So in this episode, we are introduced to Annie Wilkes and her daughter as they are traveling across country. We're constantly seeing Miss Wilkes like just losing it. Again, this is spoiler free, so I'm not going to give you any spoilers here, people, but we see Miss Wilkes just lose it, and we are introduced that she may have a condition. We don't know fully what the condition is. We're just seeing her and her daughter travel cross country until they get to the town of Castle Rock, and craziness ensues. We see Ace, who hates his Somalian brother, played by I'm the Captain Now, because that's what I'm calling him, because I can't say his name, and I'm not going to get more disrespectful by me attempting to say his name over and over again. And we see that they have an issue because Ace runs kind of a store mall for Somalian refugees, because again, in Castle Rock and in real life in Maine, like Somalian refugees have a huge population there. So it's kind of cool for them to touch on that in the show. So we see them go back and forth between Mr. I'm the Captain Now, trying to build a better place for his people, and Ace, who is kind of abusing the people, not physically, but the point that he's collecting money from them and possibly overcharging them for their rent for this type of place. It's kind of very interesting because, again, if anyone saw the first season of Castle Rock, you saw the town was struggling. The town was struggling for money. Where this portion of Castle Rock, or this place right outside of Castle Rock, because it's very weird. Her and Joy get to Castle Rock, and we see Castle Rock mentioned a lot, but the place that this show actually takes place in is Jerusalem's Lot. For people who know Stephen King's work, Jerusalem's Lot is Salem's Lot. So that's where a lot of this stuff takes place at, and this is right outside of Castle Rock, and we see just how much wealth this part of town has compared to Castle Rock, and it's kind of because of the refugees and the money that they bring in. Again, we see a dynamic between all of these characters as they're clashing with each other. We see Miss Annie Wilkes at her finest at certain points of this episode that is going to blow your mind, the things that she does. But Miss Lizzy Caplan is amazing. Her and Elijah Fisher, who plays her daughter, when they play off of each other, is great. When Lizzy is allowed to just to go crazy, and when I mean go crazy, she goes super crazy and is super fun and super entertaining. The season premiere episode is bonkers. That's the best way to describe it. It's bonkers. Like everything that you could want to have happen, everything that you've come to know from Castle Rock, I would say throw away. The first season was much more like slow moving, even pace. Like the first season was a slow burn. This season, from episode 1, throw that slow burn out the window, baby. It gets you right from the beginning. It's gonna hook you. Trust me, you're gonna love it. I wish I could go into more detail because there's more things I want to talk about, because I'm also a lover of Stephen King and all his works, but I can't say more without spoiling the episode. Just know that Annie Wilkes is super crazy but super protective of her kid, and you're gonna love it if you love this genre, because this is a horror genre show. So again, that's why I said from the beginning, think American Horror Story. It is very much that to the next level, because it's on Hulu and it's not on FX, even though FX's cable is still kind of network, so they have limitations. Hulu has none of those limitations, and they push the boundaries of it from the beginning, and they also open the story up to other things in Stephen King's lore that if you're a great fan of Stephen King, you're going to notice these Easter eggs that are huge from the first episode. Something that was awesome and fun in the first season of Castle Rock to discover. So again, this has been my very short recap. I'm not going to call it a review because I can't review it technically, but a recap of the first episode of season 2 of Castle Rock. This is JVS. Lucas, peace, people.